Hello, audiences again, and welcome to another episode of Reality Unscripted. This is your host, Mr. Told You So. I hope everyone is having a good week and getting ready for the weekend. And once again, whatever you have planned, hopefully it's something you like, enjoy doing, or vice versa. And hopefully it's something that always benefits your health, as I'm a strong believer in health being first over everything. And that's the priority that people should go with. But once again, everyone has their situations in life. And even if it's not your priority, I do believe that you should try to find some time to do so. Nevertheless, whatever you're doing, I hope it's something that you're gonna enjoy doing so. Now let's get to it. This episode will focus on how to find ways on finding happiness being living a single life or being single. And mind you, there are many ways. Even though you might feel you're not going to be happy being single, when you really think about it, there is probably, and I'm not saying there is, but I wouldn't be surprised if most people would agree that there is more advantages to being single. Now, I'm not saying by all means that should be your goal, but if that's what life has you being as it is, then you should find happiness through it. And there are many ways. I will guide you and try to give you the best ways to do so. And this will actually open, or hopefully will open your concept of being happy, being single. Now, before we even get to that, these are the cons, and I'm not saying once again that you should choose being single in having a relationship. But if, once again, that's what life has it being, once again, we're going to get the information as to what the cons would be of being in a relationship. So, number one, loss of independence. Number two, conflict and disagreements. Number three, dependency risks. Number four, limited freedom. Number five, potential for heartbreak. Number six, financial costs. Number seven, compatibility challenges. Number eight, time and emotional investment. Number nine, personal space and privacy. Number 10, fear of stagnation. I'm going to briefly go over what these all mean. So, once again, the first one that I mentioned, loss of independence. So, I know a lot of individuals who have relationships, and this is one of the things that they complain about, which is technically meaning them requiring significant time and energy, which might limit personal time for hobbies, friends, and for self-care. Once again, that could be a good portion of your day right there, right? Or of your week, that you could be doing something that possibly you want to do outside of your life of relationship, but depending on the type of relationship you have, this might actually constrain that or put a constraint to it. Now, number two itself, conflict and disagreements. Everyone knows who's been in a relationship. That's bound to happen. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship. Otherwise, and I will always try to bring simulation theory in my discussions because it helps the individual understand why this might be happening. Or if they want to ask of what, how, and why, then it kind of might explain that, right? But then again, depending on your outlook in life, once again, I'm not here to tell you what to believe, but, you know, if you've listened to my previous, especially my very first episode, simulation theory states that we're all in a system or simulation that has programmings in it. So, once again, what this conflict and disagreement is of course, you not agreeing with your partner and causing a lot of stress in your life, which is probably not needed. on top of the other stress that you might be stressing out on other factors of your life, such as probably work and whatnot, which is normally the other stressor, right? Now, why this might be happening, and I'll tell you why, because once again, it could be a programming in the system if you're going to tie down through simulation theory, right? Now, this is the toughest one, I would say, because in a relationship, you have to really meet in the middle. And once again, if simulation theory has a programming that kind of constrains that, that's going to be a challenge, depending on what your character would be and what your outlook in life would be. How flexible are you willing to meet in the middle? So once again, if you're single, that's not something you have to think about. You literally can cut that stress out almost instantly. Number 3, emotional dependency. So how dependent are you for the happiness of being with somebody? Right? Can you imagine you relying, being happy with someone? What if that individual's not there that day? What are you going to do? Is that the end of your world? Or is that how you would view it? Even though it really isn't the end of the world, but it might feel like that for some other individuals. This is where I actually feel that a good, almost half the individuals fall into. I've had discussions with this with individuals I know as well, and for some odd reason, whether it's the male or the female, for some odd reason, when they find someone, they feel that they shouldn't take care of themselves anymore. One or two of them, right? Sometimes only one of them, sometimes both of them. But at the end of the day, you always have to take care of yourself, physically especially, mentally as well, or vice versa. The reason why is just because you found someone that you connect with doesn't mean they're going to do that part for you, right? That's a responsibility we have to ourselves at all times. That should never change whether you have somebody or not. But once again, I think it's really how Navy society trains people to be, and they buy into it. That will definitely be in my other episodes. If not, I will try to make it at least, because I feel that, a lot of how people actually live their lives are based on these beliefs that the mass society feeds to them, and then they buy into it. You don't have to rely your happiness solely on being with a partner. There's many ways you can find. In fact, that's actually one of the reasons why individuals go into emotional breakdown or whatnot, because it's kind of like putting all your chips in the pot or whatnot, as they would say. It really isn't a safe bet, Now, we're going to go to the next one, limited freedom. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Depending on how your partner is, they may not actually allow you to do certain things that go outside the parameters of your relationship. That could be a bad thing as well for certain individuals' health, because focusing on just one thing solely is definitely not good for your health. You have to balance everything out. Potential for heartbreak, that's also self-explanatory. You are more likely to go through an emotional breakdown if things don't go right in a relationship. And if you're alone, well, the only emotional breakdown you're going to have is the one that you have for yourself. So the chances are, and I hope it works this way, because if it's the other way around, then you have another issue to deal with. But normally it should be the other person causing heartbreak to you, not you to yourself. You should always love yourself no matter what, because no one else will do it for you except for yourself. And, that's also one of the key steps to being healthy mentally and physically. Never rely on someone to make you happy. You should make yourself happy. And if not, find ways to do so, physically and mentally, or vice versa. Financial costs, of course, we all know what that is. You're going to have a bigger expense to prepare for not only yourself, but for your partner, because sometimes in order to keep your partner, you're going to have to show them. And this is, once again, the way society has maybe trained people to believe, or maybe it's just the way the simulation made the programming to be, but for some reason a guy has to provide.